Hi, this is Lisa Giuliani. It is December 19th, and I just wanted to come on here and give you a quick heads up. I was just invited once again to be on Haitham Khatib's show live from Palestine on Truth Cat Radio. The person who I guess runs this show is Stephen D. Kelley. Well, Haitham wanted me to ask some questions because he found out that Mr. Kelley is a Donald Trump supporter. Well, being that Haitham is Palestinian and Donald Trump is apparently pro-Israel, being that he has picked this David Friedman to be the, U.S. ambassador to Israel and wants to move the embassy to Jerusalem, which is the capital of Palestine, in the future, and has donated to West Bank settlements. It's kind of concerning that Mr. Kelley is supporting a Zionist. Anyone who supports the occupation in my book is a Zionist. And so I asked, Haitham initiated the discussion about Mr. Kelley being a Trump supporter. And I was supposed to follow up with some questions, which I started to do. And then I was he got very defensive. This is called scratching. And in the alternative media, what I used to do was expose a lot of fakes, fraudulent people who pretended to be truthers and honest broadcasters and whatnot, and we expose them as frauds. And Mr. Kelley got very defensive when I asked him the valid questions about supporting Mr. Trump, who supports Israeli settlements, and it's just illogical. It's illogical that you'd have Palestinians on your show when you are pro-Zionist. Well, Mr. Kelley got very defensive, threatened to block and ban me from the show, called me ignorant, so he resorted to an ad hominem attack. And this is what you do. When you want to find out if somebody's real, you give them a little scratch. And that's what those questions I asked were, the little scratch to see what's underneath the surface. And Mr. Kelley, rather than, honestly answering the questions, what he did was this. He said, Hillary is a Satanist. He also stated that Hillary eats babies. And he also stated that he called for her murder. So this is a broadcast that he intends to make public. Okay? And he's publicly calling for the murder of Hillary Clinton, which to me makes him sound like an agent provocateur, because the whole Palestinian struggle, the BDS movement, activism for Palestine is all peaceful, non-violent. Okay? The resistance can get kind of physical there in Palestine because they are resisting illegal occupation of their land and the people who are there murdering them and shooting at them and oppressing them every day. So Mr. Kelley's responses to the questions were non-answers, and what he did say made him sound, like a nutcase. But this is by design, because being that he's allegedly ex-CIA and ex-NSA himself, this might be a little game for him, but it's not a game to the people in Palestine, and it's not a game to any of us who support Palestine and the Palestinian struggle for freedom and right of return. So, what these people do, I found over the years in mainstream media, not mainstream, alternative media, is they say these crazy things, even if it's true that Hillary eats babies, right? If you have no proof to back that up, you really shouldn't be saying it, especially on a public broadcast, because what happens is it makes you look like a nutcase, and it makes everyone else around you look like a nutcase. You're essentially discrediting the people on your own show by doing that. And so this is how Mr. Kelley responded to the scratch of my questions. He became defensive. He threatened to ban and block me. He threatened to end the show if I didn't go away. He cut me off of the show, and I still was able to see the text that people were typing on their computers. I was still able to read that, and also, you know, a couple of the guests on the show messaged me and wanted me to come back on. Mr. Kelley, Mr. Kelley, Mr. Kelley does not want to answer the questions in a grown-up, civil, rational way, in a calm way. Instead, when you have to resort to an ad hominem attack, you've already lost. Okay, you can't defend your point, and I don't really know what he could possibly say to justify supporting Donald Trump when he supposedly supports the people of Palestine. How do the two go together? I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know what happened because, you know, I don't know if the show is going to air or not, and I'm going to look into finding Haitham, if he's interested, another venue that he can do a show on that does not come part and parcel with an intelligence guy. You know, we really don't need that. Haitham doesn't need it. This isn't a game for the people of Palestine. It's not a game to me, and I wanted everybody to know the truth. So there we have it, and I love you all, and salam. See you on the net.